Thank you very much, Dave. Again, it's a pleasure to be speaking to you. I will trot through this at a fairly good rate because I want to concentrate on a case study that I think will explore the value of us all working together. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on fulfillment houses because they are these locations that are being built up following the Amazon principle, where goods are imported in boxes and ordered, very often online. I want to concentrate on this issue about Manchester. There's a particular area in Manchester that is a haven for counterfeiters, and this is the UK hub for counterfeiting. Most recently, you'll see this is a government report counting the cost, which looks at the problem. Now, for us to deal with the problem, we have to define the problem, which is what we've done in this report. So, moving on to the case study, a world brand, a very well known brand, their brand protection team came to me in the UK and said, we have a problem with seizures of goods. Now, to all intents and purposes, these goods were in free circulation. They'd come into to Europe, been put into free circulation, and then, of course, the secondary border controls then that we have in the UK, because of course we are surrounded by water. Our colleagues in the border force seized a couple of consignments, 12,000 pairs of training shoes, very high quality. However, the counterfeiters made a slight slip up in that every single barcode read the same. So it was a bit of a clue. So what we did then was that we looked at, well, where is involved? And these are the countries that were involved. We made some links through Europol, very, very much assisted by Europol and the National Crime Agency. But what we looked at is where are the common factors? And at the time, the common factors were that these goods were not in containers, they were in lorries, they weren't on pallets, they were being driven by Eastern European lorry drivers, and the lorries didn't look particularly good condition. So our colleagues, I had my team prepare a bulletin for our colleagues in the border force, and as a result of this bulletin going out, more and more seizures were made, and bit by bit, 12,000 at a time, we built up to 112,000 pairs over about 18 months. Now, when we start talking about the financial cost to the brand, that's quite significant. But let's remember, we had an organised crime gang still operating, having lost 112,000 pairs of these training shoes. And these were very, very good counterfeits. So one of the things we did, again, this is how the goods looked in transport. One of the things we looked at is, well, how can we find out where they were going? Because the consignee details were entirely false. They were made up. My applause to the brand who, working in Europe, identified through an informant that there was a guy in Belgium who the lorry drivers would get to Belgium, either meet up with him or ring him, and he would say, never mind what your note says, this is the address, you take them. And the reason we found that the consignee details were false, my team would make some inquiries with the person who was supposedly going to receive these, and they were very often told, well, no, actually, we don't deal in training shoes, and we're on the 15th floor of a tower block. We can't take a lorry load of anything. So we looked at these things and said, right, what do we know? And we're very fortunate because of the network of number plate readers we have in the UK. We have these cameras that read the numbers. And if you have if you are a legal, law-abiding citizen, you have nothing to fear because the cameras take the image and you never see or hear of it again. But for us, it provided a very, very useful intelligence tool. And you'll see. These are where the goods were coming in, and there you'll see Manchester. So quite clearly, all roads lead our problem area. Since more recently, the 70,000 pairs have been seized at a warehouse in Belgium, and we believe that the network for now has been closed down. We still have the challenge of finding where in Manchester these were going, because, as I'm sure you'll appreciate, we have an area to focus. But as I said, for now, in terms of the scale, nearly 200,000 pairs of counterfeit training shoes. And yet the company is still trading. So, I think I will not attempt the bottom, but from the UK, if you have any questions, either for myself or for Dave, we'll be very pleased to answer them. But thank you for listening.